What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Father's Day. I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably watching this on Monday, but it's still Sunday at the time of recording. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. It's been a couple days and some things have actually happened in the One Piece market. So we're going to talk about those today. And over the past month, a lot of things that are happening and a lot of products that are moving up are things that I didn't really expect. So we're going to go through that in this video. And a lot of it has to do with some of the manga cards. So starting off, OP09, this box apparently got reprinted, and it's really interesting. I thought we were going to see a larger decrease in price on this box after the reprint. It came down to the low 160s. We're now sitting around $175, and the most recent sales on TCG Player are back into the 180s, 181, 182-ish range. You have one here at 171 as well from June 15th today. So it's kind of all over the place, but it seems to be moving back up into the mid 170s. On EBO2, this is another booster box that's kind of just taken a nosedive out of nowhere. This box was holding fairly steady in the 180-ish range, and then on maybe like June 9th or 10th, so like almost a week ago at this point, someone started selling some boxes in the 170s, and it's not like it's huge sales volume. You can see here like maybe like 10 boxes, 15 boxes per day are selling, but we're now closer to $170-ish. Again, you have sales up around 180, but you have sales as low as 163, 164. So it's a little bit all over the place right now, but still holding fairly strong. All things considered, looking where like OP09 is right now, they're pretty much the exact same price. OP11, that booster box has fallen off a cliff, and I'm sure we're going to talk about that later this week in another video. So EBO2 holding in this range it's really not doing that bad, but as a lot of sealed product has been stagnating over the past month or so, some of the manga cards have actually been making moves. Some of them have been going up, some of them have been going down. And we're going to talk about a couple of the big winners and losers over the past month. So one of the largest losers is the Monkey D. Luffy from OP11. This is the Gear 4 one, and this is down 34.24% over the past month. Obviously, pre-release prices are just insane. So, take this movement with a grain of salt, because I'm sure over the next month, we're going to see it start to stabilize, and this really isn't a realistic number just because no one was actually buying this for $900 before release. So I'm sure over the next 28 to 30 days, we're going to get more accurate data, but most recent sales from the past couple days, 510, 540, 495, 500, 499. So it's sitting right around $500-ish. So realistically, this graph should be a lot lower than it is right now, and it does seem like it's around that 500 mark. And on eBay, I think it is selling consistently in that range as well. But a lot of the other Luffy's, even though that one's doing poorly, a lot of the other ones are doing well. This is the one from OP09. It's up 2.99% over the past month, sitting around $945. The most recent sales are from June 9th when we last covered this, $942 and $900 exactly. The Monkey D. Luffy from EBO2, the Gear 2 one. This one's doing quite well, sitting around $1,136, up 4.38% on the month. And this is selling fairly consistently on TCG Player for a $1,000 card plus. This is surprising to me. Most recent sale was June 13th at $1,100. Before then, it was June 10th for $1,246. 1100 and another one at 1100. You also had a couple more sales that day at 1055 and 1030. So this is consistently over $1,000, getting close to that 1100 mark consistently. And finally, we have the Monkey D. Luffy from OP05, Awakening in the New Era. This is up 5.99% on the month, sitting around $2,700. Most recent sale on TCG Player was back in May though. So really, I don't know how accurate this is. And at the end of the video, we'll talk about what I'm planning to do with my spreadsheet and how I'm planning to track this. Because some of these cards, at least the more expensive ones out of the mangas, like this Luffy, like the Gold Roger, a lot of these don't sell super often on TCG Player. So I'm planning to branch out. I do have a plan for, tracking these better. But some of these cards do sell fairly consistently, like this Zoro, which is up 7.65% on the month, sitting around $828-ish. And most recent sales here, June 9th, we had a couple sell $850. The day before that, another one at $850. So it's consistently in that range. I really like Zoro as a character in One Piece. This card goes hard as well. So I would not be surprised if eventually one day after OP06 goes out of rotation, it stops getting printed, that we see this card reach $1,000. I think that is entirely possible. Now, a card that's probably not going to reach $1,000 but has been on the rise as of late is Buggy from Emperors in the New World, OP09. This manga is up to around $500, up 21.54% on the month. And I think most recent sales from June 11th, actually $600 basically, and then June 7th, you had a couple sales as well. Actually, that one's from June 6th, but in the June 7th, 6th, 5th range, a lot of sales at $600. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below. I'm pretty sure Buggy's like kind of in meta right now. There are a few Buggy cards from OP09 that have been moving up over the past month, so I think that might be part of the reason why we see such a large increase here. And then one card that's really been doing poorly is this Trafalgar Law, just to end the video. This is from Royal Blood, down to around $350-ish. And most recent sales are fairly consistent in that range, which is a good sign to see. Personally, I can't imagine seeing this card go much lower than this, especially when we go look at all the mangas and we rank order them. The Law is, I think we have to go to the second page actually. It's at the top of the first page, or the second page, $352. Below it, you have the Sabo, you have the Captain reprint from the PRB, and then you have Silver's Rayleigh. So there aren't a lot of cards below it, and then the Soga King reprint, but there aren't a ton of original mangas below it, and I think just based on Law as a character, we really couldn't see this move below $300. I think that'd be probably underpriced. At that point, you'd see people start to gobble them up and that price would go back up. Now today I did the first update in my spreadsheet for One Piece mangas, and it's going to look something like this. Again, this is subject to change over the next couple months or so. You can see I'm going to do all of the manga cards that aren't reprints, so like PRBO1. If PRBO2 or another set has reprinted manga cards, they're not going to be tracked in this list, but I will add in the new manga card as we go. And basically it's just going to show the set, it's going to show a ranking. So you can see here, these are all new just because it's the first month. But if I bring you over here to like the special illustration cards from Pokemon, you can see here month over month, there is going to be change to it depending on if the card's new, if it's moving up or down, if it stays in the same position. And I'm trying to combine a lot of things right now to hopefully better visually represent what's going on with the manga cards in terms of their price and their ranking amongst the other manga cards. I'm also planning to add in a couple more columns, like in the G and H columns eventually. For like PSA 10 pricing, I'll probably take an average of the most recent 3 sales, or if it's a card that doesn't sell super often, I might just take the most recent sale. I'm going to do the same thing for BGS 10 black labels, just so we can start to track the price difference between black labels and the PSA 10. I think that is a really important thing to consider, especially when we look at One Piece cards. I know PSA is the most popular grading company, but those black labels do have a fairly large premium on them, and that's something to consider, especially when we are considering investing in some of these cards. And of course, if you guys have recommendations for the spreadsheet, if you're in there, if you're considering getting it, definitely feel free to shoot me an email. I've already gotten a ton of help from other people that have expertise in Excel and other spreadsheet programs giving me advice on how I can make it better, so I always appreciate that. But to sum up this video, I don't want to rant too long. A lot of these manga cards, the newer ones, like the Gear 4 Luffy from OP11, the Law from Royal Blood, these ones are moving down this month. But a lot of these older ones, and especially a lot of the Luffys, right, the OP09 one, the EBO2 surprisingly is still holding strong around $1,100, and then the OP05 one, a lot of these Luffys are moving up. The Zoro's moving up, and I think part of this has to do with people just viewing this card as undervalued. When it was around $600, $650, that seemed low to me, just based on where a lot of the other mangas were. Buggy's also moving up. I think part of this has to do with him being in the meta. Correct me if I'm wrong down below. I just assume that based on a lot of the other cheaper Buggy cards also moving up at basically the exact same time. And unfortunately, there just hasn't been a lot of good news for you sealed collectors and investors out there like myself. A lot of these sets just have been moving down over the past month or two. And you know what? There's going to be times where that happens. A lot of these are newer sets. And again, like, you can't expect to see 100% return on your investment every single year. That's ridiculous, right? We're in a market right now in TCGs, Pokemon especially, if you guys also dabble in that, where a lot of products are doubling in value every 6 months, and it's just not sustainable. It's not something you should be comfortable and used to. Normal, healthy growth in the TCG world, somewhere between a double up every 3 to 4 years, right? You want to be beating out the S&P. That's why you're taking on more risk than just putting your money into an ETF like VOO or VFE up here in Canada. But tripling or quadrupling your money in that period of time definitely is not normal. So don't get used to that. If products go down for 6 months, a year, that is honestly normal in the TCG space. That's part of being invested into TCGs. And serves as a good reminder just to be patient, right? We are long-term investors here. We're looking at One Piece for the future, betting on the IP to grow, for it to become more popular, for opening the packs to become more popular in the future. And there's lots of good signs pointing to that eventually happening. So with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.